using my Champ benefits to call a virtual primary care because I woke up and I had a red eye for whatever reason in my right eye, right before a conference, of course. So let's see what these folks can do.
Hi, this is Samantha with the News. How can I help you?
Hey Samantha, this is John Hubbard. I've got the Champ benefits and I woke up with a red eye today and right before a conference, so I thought I would reach out to Maze and see what your thoughts were about my eye.
Sure thing. You said it's just been going on since this morning?
Just noticed it this morning. I don't have any pain. I thought you might ask about the blood pressure, so I did a blood pressure assessment twice, 148 over 80 and then 143 over 80, so which is unusual for me. So I don't know if that's helpful.
Okay. Are you noticing any itching or discharge or discomfort at all in the eye, or is it just purely red and that's it?
Purely red. My wife noticed it. I would not have even known it was there if it wasn't for her looking at my eye and kind of saying, what's going on there?
Gotcha. Okay. Are you in a place where you can turn on your video and I can try to see your eye? You should be able to see me now.
Yeah.
You hit that. There you are.
Okay.
Do you wear contacts or do you only wear glasses?
Just reading glasses when I'm at the computer.
Okay. Okay. Try to get a good view. If we can't get a good view with the camera, then I might just have you upload a picture. Oh, I
Sure.
see. Okay. Just on the inside of that eye. Yeah. Okay. So those always look much worse than they are. It's, a little popped blood vessel in the eye. It's not an infection. It's not anything that we can really do much for. We do always ask that you check your blood pressure if that happens, but typically it's not worrisome unless it is, sky high and we see that happen. But it can, excuse that noise in the background. Yeah. It can happen for a lot of different reasons. Most of them are not, red flags for anything. Most of them are not worrisome.
Okay.
However, I understand that it looks much worse than, what I'm telling you it is. When you see bright red and
sure.
eyeballs, it can be extremely worrisome, but it's not. And so are you on any medication for blood pressure?
No.
Or you just checked it out of, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How often do you check your blood pressure?
I don't, but I will, just because it was high this time, so I'll track it, every day a little bit.
Yeah, because it's possible that it's been a little bit on the high end for a while and you just haven't noticed it.
Sure.
The bottom number is great. I'm not upset about that. The top number, I would want to see that below 140. So you're really close to being within what I would want to see. Closer to 120 would be even better, but above that 140 is where we start considering a medication. How you, in the past, when you've gone to a doctor's visit or any sort of wellness visit, have you ever had high blood pressure?
No, I'm typically 120, 110.
Okay.
Exercise, regularly. So that's, I was shocked, but
Yeah.
something happened, obviously.
Any change to medications, even over the counter, like ibuprofen, if you're taking a lot of anything?
No.
No. Okay. Any changes to your diet or stress level?
Probably just more workload, so a little bit more stress. So that's probably one thing that maybe is a little different lately.
Okay.
Taking on a few more projects, so
Sure.
yeah.
Okay. Any headache or vision changes?
No.
Okay. And then any chest pain, pressure?
No, nothing that would give me a sense of, yeah.
Okay. And then any excessive fatigue? Are you feeling tired all of the time?
No, I get up at 6, go to bed at 10:30, and generally up during that time, the whole time, yeah.
Okay. And then do you have any known diagnosis of sleep apnea or any concerns that you may have sleep apnea, like snoring or waking up abruptly in the middle of the night?
I track that with my watch, so I can have a really good day, the high 80s in my score, or in the 40s. And I've done the sleep apnea test twice, and they obviously put you on your back a little bit more. So I've had interruptions. So, that could be, something that may be underlying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Any untreated sleep apnea can increase your blood pressure.
Gotcha.
Especially if it's something to look into. If you've tested positive, certainly in the past, then I would consider treatment. It's been a long time and you were borderline, and your blood pressure continues to be on the higher end, then that would be something that I would look into as a culprit. But I think that would be jumping the gun unless you've had a clear diagnosis of it in the past and been told to have treatment and you've not done treatment, then I still would do treatment. But what were your results of the sleep apnea before?
You know, I tried the old fighter pilot mask, and it just didn't work. And actually, I felt good in the beginning, and then it kind of went back to baseline. So, you know, I just try to really have clear nasal passages and do all the navage and you know, try to do all the sleep hygiene type of recommendations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would table that for now, but it's something I would look into, I guess, if your blood pressure continues to
Sure.
be elevated. So big picture, I'm not worried about your eye, but I do want to track your blood pressure.
Sure.
So what I would do is I would keep a blood pressure log, and I would do morning or evening or twice a day at different times, maybe one at work, one at home, see if there's a difference in terms of stress level.
Sure.
And I would make sure that your cuff is calibrated. So if you take it to either fire station or a pharmacy where they've got one of those cuffs that you can use, or somebody else that you know that has a blood pressure cuff, and you can compare between two different ones to make sure that you're getting a similar reading. And that way you know that it's an accurate reading, or as accurate as we can get at an at-home automatic cuff.
Sure.
And then keep a journal, and then we can review that in a couple weeks. Obviously, if you start getting sky-high numbers, if anything, that top number is ever above 160 or that bottom number is ever above 100, I would want to know right away rather than waiting to review the journal. But otherwise, I would keep a good twice-a-day journal for a couple weeks and then review it, and then we can decide if we think that there's anything there that we need to either do some additional testing, or we might do some blood work, or even look more into sleeping and whatnot. And then if testing leads us to believe that you've got some sort of baseline of the hypertension, then we can talk about medication.
Okay, great. Well, then I'll keep a journal. I'll look for an opportunity to calibrate the cuff. In the meantime, I'll just use this as a reference point, and I'll circle back in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I will actually reach out to you. So if you need me, you know how to get a hold of me. So
Yeah.
I'll reach out to you in 2 weeks, and I'll message or call you. Actually, what would you prefer? Do you prefer a call or a message?
Probably message, and then I can do that. That works really well.
Okay. Cool. So I will message you in 2 weeks, and if I don't get a hold of you, then usually I'll call you next. But if you need me between now and then, or something is alarming or concerning to you in any way, then just reach out sooner.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Alrighty. I hope you have a good day. I hope you had a good long weekend. You got some rest, and that this is a good work week for you.
Good. I'm going to a conference, so
Okay. Okay. Not all bad.
with my red eye, but I feel a lot better. Better than my wife's like, go down to Dr. Globus and sit in the waiting room for an hour, but it'll be worth it. I'm like, well, why don't I do this from my couch? So this is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if anything changes, you have any other concerns, you start noticing any changes in your vision, headache, anything like that, let me know right away. Otherwise, I think you're good. I see this a lot, and I would be the same if that happened to me and I woke up and my eye looked like that. I would freak out. But I promise you, it looks worse than it really is. But let's keep an eye on that blood pressure.
You bet.
It may have been a coincidence that you happened to check it and it's been elevated for a long time. But either way, now we know, so it's something that we should track.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay. Alrighty. Have a good week.
You too.
Bye.
Hey, what a difference to be able to do it from my couch versus going to my primary doctor a couple miles away, probably sitting until a little before noon, and then getting the same information. So I just, hands down, that was an amazing experience. It was convenient. It was immediate. I waited 15 seconds to get on with my provider, and she's going to follow up with me in 2 weeks. So that's my latest experience with the Champ Plan and our virtual primary care platform.